Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to be showing you how to varnish your acrylic paintings. These are the two that I have done recently. Okay, so I painted these paintings a few weeks ago, and because of it being quite abstracty, I have actually decided that I need to varnish these. Now, I don't normally varnish my paintings, but on this occasion, because of the material that I've used, I have decided to varnish. So I am using a Winsor & Newton matte varnish finish. Now, I always go for matte when I'm doing my actual acrylic paintings or any paintings, because what I don't want to be doing is having a shine on it and taking that look from the colour. I would advise not to use a brush when doing varnishing. It does leave brush strokes on there. I would advise an actual craft sponge or something that makes it so much easier to be able to apply it in layers. Now, when I did these painting, I did use acrylic paint, so I did an abstract background and then just went with it. Now with this, I'm just normally would pour it on, but I've decided that I was just going to dip my brush, my sponge, and paste it on basically. Yeah, so it will leave that matte finish. It does take 24 hours to dry per layer, so do the first layer, wait for 24 hours, and then do a second. I've only put 2 layers on here. So here I'm applying the varnish now to this painting. What I did notice very quickly is because I used a spray, like a coloured spray within my painting, and when doing this abstract field, you can see the orange, like the burnt orange spray that I used, starting to come through the varnish. So at this stage, I thought I needed to do something about that, because I didn't want to be dipping my sponge into the main varnish pot, because that would then decolour that main varnish, and that would then obviously affect any of my future projects when it comes to varnishing my other paintings. So what I've decided to do at this stage is to actually pop some of this varnish into a small glass jar, just a goo jar. So if anyone knows the goo desserts, this is perfect. So reusable goo dessert jar. So that's what I've done, is I've tipped some of that into there, which then has allowed me to do it. But you can see during this video that that colour from the spray that I would have done while doing my abstract painting is starting to show up even more. And this is probably the main reason why I wanted to varnish this painting, because if this weren't protected, then it would then run if someone was to get water on it or anything like that. So I just wanted to make sure it was sealed, so none of that colour would be dispersing anywhere else in the future. So it is holding that in. It does actually add effect to the painting. I actually do like it. And although the painting is showing as currently shiny in areas, it does dry matte. Now you can get a gloss finish and a satin finish and a matte finish in the Newton and Winsor and Newton. Oh, I've forgotten already. What was it? I think it was Newton and Winsor varnish that I was using. So it does come in gloss finish and satin. I don't normally use satin. I did actually Google it while I was standing in Hobbycraft buying the actual varnish to find out what the difference was. I mentioned something about UV. I just went with what I knew. So my varnish either is gloss or it is matte, but I definitely go for the matte finish more so when I'm working with my paintings, as again, I don't like the shine, because if it's upon the wall, you're going to miss the detail of the painting. So there we go. You can see then that colour coming through, and it does dry off a little bit. You can see where it's actually coming through onto the actual brush and into the actual pot. You can see that there is a bit of orange that has got into that pot there. But that is the first layer done on that painting, and I would leave it. But the spray that I used, you would normally use for fabric, so it's a colour wash spray, so any water that would have actually landed on it would have actually changed the dynamics of the painting anyway. But yeah, what I should have done when I first started doing this varnish is starting around the edges, so it didn't mix into. So that will be left then 24 hours, and I'll come back and I'll do a second layer of varnish. So this is the second painting that I've done on the same collection. Again, I've went for the field type wildflower look, obviously with the natural blue background this time. This painting also contains that colour wash on there. You can see where I have sprayed it around the edges, and because I know that that painting has that, I don't want to disperse any of that orange, or orangey yellowy colour into the main sky. So what I would be doing is actually varnishing in the triangle, so doing the actual bit that's not got any of the spray on it first. So doing the sky first, and then I will go around and do the edges. Again, it's just making sure that there is enough varnish on your sponge to be able to get that in there. Now, with this being an abstracty type painting, I would have flicked paint on it. I would have got my toothbrushes and my paint brushes and flicked paint. So there is lumpy parts on there. So you want to make sure that you are getting this varnish all around the cracks as well, and making sure it's all going in. But again, on my previous paintings, some of them haven't been varnished because I've not used this colour wash spray as part of an abstract feel in some of those. This channel is obviously at the moment is all been resin. This is the first time I've actually placed some of my paintings on here, other than obviously years ago when I first created the channel and then got the EBGBs and anxiety and everything, which then means I'd stopped. So yeah, I have been more consistent now and definitely on it. And you will be seeing more of my paintings as well. And they'll be in like time-lapse videos. But these paintings were already completed a few weeks ago. So I thought best show a way of actually varnishing them. And again, because of that colour wash, I don't want to be moving my brush into the centre where the blue sky is. So you can see me working my way from the inside out. So it's pulling that colour out. A bit different to what I did with the purple flowered abstract painting. I just went with it on that one, but I'm definitely, because of the blue sky, I didn't want to break that by adding. But you can see some of the lines on here from the sponge, but on the second layer they do seem to lighten up a little bit as well, and as it dries it does dry a little bit better and takes those lines away as well, but it doesn't dry with all those lines on it. So I was pretty pleased. But again, I leave this 24 hours and then I go and put a second layer. So both paintings do have 2 layers of varnish on them. So here we go then. This is them finished. Perfect matte finish, no shine to it. And I'd like to say thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and thank you very much.